Greetings Autobots, and welcome to another Transformers ASMR figure review. Tonight I thought I would take a look at a Studio Series figure that I was meaning to film for, well, about a couple months now, truth be told, and I figured what better way to kick off the new year than by doing a Studio Series review on a figure I did not expect to like as much as I do. The Studio Series Voyager class Age of Extinction Galvatron. Now, right off the bat, just in case you guys don't know, Galvatron is the upgraded form of Megatron, the leader of the Decepticons. But in this story, or specifically Age of Extinction, he was upgraded from the dead body of Megatron as a sort of man-made replacement, but it ended up being infected by Megatron's chromosomes. Really, it's a whole big process, you know, in the Transformers lore. Sometimes it doesn't really make much sense, but hey-ho, such is life. So Galvatron takes the form of a standard truck, like a traditional sort of cab that you would see in, there's a yard just outside my town, or just on the exit of town. You see dozens of trucks just like this parked there. Almost this exact same shape and model, with the big slanty cabs and the big tall windows and doors and that massive grille that honestly looks like it could ram someone over at full speed. But let's talk about the actual detail. I've been rattling on enough. See, Galvatron is a very nice grey and silver truck with some nice silver paint and even some nice glossy black paint here to help let the grille stand out. You've got some nice little bumper lights picked out in a sea blue. See, you've got no paint on the hubcaps, but it's the Voyager class, so some compromises will be in terms of paint. But you've got this lovely gleaming silver, this glossy gleam of glowing silver, which looks really nice. I only wish there was just a little bit more, but I think this is largely spot on to how the actual truck looks. But yeah, just looking at it, it's actually a really, really good truck. The only issue is, well, this is the elephant in the room. Because of the complicated nature of this design, Galvatron had to have some compromises made, and they wanted to make the vehicle mode, or they prioritized the robot mode, but the vehicle mode still looks good, don't get me wrong. But the big problem is when you come around to the back, you've got these exposed robo bits, which isn't really the problem, it's the feet, because these are the robot mode feet. If they just added a little extra hinge or a swivel or something you could compress the feet in, you could fit them in and they would just fit snugly in between his crotch, and then you would have a perfect truck bed. You'd have this, or even just the base of that, and it would look spot on. But even if you hold it like this, perfect. You know, well, you look at it from the back, but you look at it from the side, and it's spot on to the actual truck. But hey ho, compromises had to be made. I mean, it's not exactly that third-party Galvatron, which looks terrific, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather have a more affordable on-screen representation. But that is essentially it for the truck mode. Yeah, I think it looks superb. It's the genuine article, it's bang on to how he looks in the movie. Only problem is I just wish it could use a little bit more paint around just these bits. Not so much the roof scoop part, like the roof scoop, it's fine, but it's just right here, just looks a bit plain for my liking. So let's get stuck into Galvatron's transformation. So first what I like to do is come around here and open up this little compartment here, and if you haven't already, take out this missile pod accessory. He is one of two accessories. He has a missile pod, which actually can attach, there's a little tab and a slot, I think, right there, which you can, actually no, I tell a lie, I think it's just that little groove there. You can replicate that scene in the movie where, actually no, I tell a lie again, it doesn't go there, it actually goes here. Goes on this little gas can part, so you can replicate that scene in the movie where he's chasing the Autobots down the highway and he's blasting missiles. Oh, I love that bit. You know, for all its flaws, Age of Extinction has some really good scenes. It's one of those movies that if you watch the scenes in isolation, it's actually not that bad. But transformation, let's not get distracted. You'll notice it's a recurring theme of figures that I really like. I tend to get distracted a lot, and really it's a whole process. what you're going to want to do is take this whole bumper and just bring it up like that, and leave this up for the time being. We'll parse that, or we'll come to it soon. Take these little gas can parts and flip them like so. Then you're going to want to take these wheels and rotate them, or just push them into the thigh. Next, what you're going to want to do is come to the roof of the truck and just separate it with these little panels here. And then flip these down. Next, what you're going to want to do is just, what I like to do is push down slightly so it creates a bit of give, and then use that to leverage this piece out, because there's a little tab that goes into a slot, and there's a sort of hook tab goes here, and we can split the leg. Do that on the other side, push it in, take that piece out. Oh yeah, it's just, there we go. We just had to get the bend the knees just to clear what will be the chest, because these bits, what the transformation does in regards to the legs is actually quite clever. What you're going to want to do is take the toes and open them up like so, bring them down, swing this one all the way around, and it will tab in, it'll tab together. Swing this whole thing down on this little assembly. Take the back wheel and flip it in. Take this whole leg piece and swing it round. Bring the foot back up, and then you're going to want to bring that up, and then just close that panel over, and it'll just sit. It'll just sit there. It doesn't tab in, but it just sits. There you have a leg all done. So do the same thing on the other side. Just take that, close that over. Lovely, jubbly. Flip that down, turn it around, and there you go. Now you have the legs all done. So now he's just a walking man, truck, monster thing. Let's see. Let's bring the camera up just a little bit, because he's getting a bit tall. So what you're going to want to do now is just plug the crotch into place so it doesn't go anywhere, nice and secure. And you're going to want to bring these arms out and then tap them in. They're on little tabs there, and they'll just sit nice and securely. Next, you're going to want to bring this whole head and neck assembly back. Bring this down so it's sitting like this, just under the bumper. And then close what will be the back of his chest, because if you remember in the movie, Galvatron had a big hole in his chest, which meant stuff could actually go out the back if he got stabbed or shot at, which was actually kind of cool. Now, even though this design is nothing like the original Galvatron, I think as a robot design, it kicks ass. So just close up the chest, take the arms down on the hinge and straighten them out. Orient them properly. Straighten them out on that hinge. Rotate around. And then finally, rotate the head 180 degrees. And let me just get them all stood up. There you go. There you have Studio Series Galvatron in his robot mode. But let's give him his accessories, because he actually comes with his cannon, as you saw in the movie, which is entirely painted in silver, but I will say it's just a bit too small. I don't know, it just seems kind of puny, if you ask me. But you can actually take the missile pod, and there's grooves in the arms, and there's even the little wrist blades he had in the movie. If you remember that scene where he transforms for the first time and he just carves up a car, splits it in two. So let's just plug that in. There we are. We have Galvatron in his robot mode, and like I said, separated from the character, it is actually a really cool robot design. I think especially the use of silver and the wire detail, how it's, you can see truck bits here and there, but you look at this guy from the front and you honestly wouldn't even be able to tell that he transforms, because the original Galvatron figure was more of a shell former. It was like, if you don't know, a shell former is essentially a transformer that wears its vehicle mode in one big piece. Like, imagine Galvatron just has the whole cab of the truck hanging off his back like this, just this big backpack. That was essentially the original Age of Extinction Voyager, which I do have and I will review someday, but I just want to treat you guys to my personal favourite Bayverse Galvatron figure. The Studio Series version. I don't have any third-party ones because I actually want to keep my bank account and I don't want to sell off my medulla oblongata or any of my other organs to pay for a figure like that. So I'll just stick with store-bought ones. Thank you very much. But yeah, this guy is pretty superb. Let's get a closer look at the face as well. Just get a closer look. All the details, that menacing, monstrous, magnificent monster of a face. And an alliteration mid tonight. But you see his eyes picked out in red, these bug-eyed little pinpricks against the maelstrom of grey and blue and silver wiring detail. He almost looks like a devil with those curved silver horns. And especially that chest piece. Oh my goodness, that chest is so cool. Like the wires, it's almost like an exposed heart. You know that? It reminds me of a song. It reminds me of that, what was it? Daft Punk. There was or some kind of song where it had someone hooked up to a machine and they had wires coming out of their chest. It looked almost exactly like this. But you see that detail carrying over every inch of the figure, and it feels sturdy too. It's proper quality from not only the engineering but also the play factor. Though, like I said, do wish his gun was a bit bigger, more detailed, but hey, Voyager class price point, can't exactly expect too much. But oh, actually, I don't think I mentioned you can actually sort of flip in these bits so they rest behind the wheels, stops them from moving about. It's actually pretty clever. I didn't even know you could do that until just now. So, let's talk posability. I apologise if the pacing for this video is a bit off, but there's just so much to say about this guy. So Galvatron is rocking a pretty impressive articulation. He's got full bend and just about, or just over 90 at the arm, provided it's impeded somewhat by these little arm connectors. He's got a full bend and even a little extra bit of backwards, though it's nothing really too spectacular. The wrists cannot move, they are fused in place. Head can do a full rotation and swivel it side to side. Legs can go out that far, about, yeah, until they're impeded. You can move up, over 90 degrees at the bend, or 90 degrees of bend at the knee. Foot has a pretty mean pivot, can even slightly rock on the other side, which is very unusual for a figure. I mean, not that I'm complaining, it is quite unusual, but it is quite awesome in that regard. So, yeah, let's kick Galvatron up in a pose. Let's have him strike in a sort of menacing battle pose. Just articulating him. You know what I was considering buying? I was considering getting a turntable. Something where you can just see the figure rotate full 360 degrees so you can get a bird's eye view or even just a good long look at these figures, because Galvatron looks terrific in your shelf and on your collection. In fact, man, that's really cool. See, focus. There we are. You get the camera to focus on him and then on the gun. That's cool. That's actually really nifty. I'm just having an absolute ball tonight. But yeah, this Galvatron, well, not even just as a Bayverse Galvatron, but as a Transformer, I'd say this guy deserves to be in your collection. He's fun. The transformation is pretty enjoyable. It's not like too complicated, but it's not too easy either. It's just the right blend of complex and simple for my liking. So let's get him back into his truck mode. Now, I'll tell you a story. Years and years ago, I remember, more than anything, I wanted to drive a truck. It wouldn't have to be an Optimus Prime truck, just any truck. This massive, hulking, great beast of a motor, and just drive. No particular destination or reason for the journey, just get out on the road, meet some people, maybe have a laugh, listen to my favourite songs, and, well, sadly I haven't ever gotten that truck ride, but who knows. Early days yet, folks, early days. Could happen. Could happen. Never say never. Just make sure that's all done. But I personally, I remember someone asked me saying, would I do certain figures? And I'd like to think of it as, if I, how do I say it? If a figure is good, or if I enjoy it first and foremost, of course I'm going to film it. Like, if I don't like something, like, because I'll be upfront with you guys, if you were wanting a Studio Series Rise of the Beast Mirage review, I'm sorry, but I don't think I'm going to do that, because the transformation for that guy just isn't really fun. And it's super clashy, it's frustrating, bits just stay stuck in places where they shouldn't be, and it's really just a whole big process, and it's not really that much fun to do. So I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but ultimately, if it's not fun to transform or fun to even fidget with, does it really deserve a spot on the show? You know, could be an argument made for it. Maybe I'll come around to it. Never say never, folks, but just understand that if a figure, well, if I enjoy it first and foremost, whew, pardon me, nearly sneezed there. Could have been a crisis situation, but I averted it in the nick of time, and then I would have blown all your eardrums out. So what I'll do is just bring that in there. Let's see, that's clashing just a little bit. Sometimes you just have to do a little bit of jiggery pokery. Yes, molto bene. There we go. Same thing on the other side. Okay, just repeat the same process. A little bit of jiggery pokery. Tell you what, for a figure released on a Voyager class budget, the engineering for this guy is actually sublime. It packs in a lot of clever tricks, but also at the end of it all, in the basic scheme of things, it's incredible just how it goes from the look of a non-transforming robot to a pretty good truck, you know, just minus the big feet sticking out. And there you have Voyager Galvatron back in his truck mode. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little Transformers ASMR figure review of Studio Series Voyager Galvatron. If my hyperactive tone of total elation didn't tip you off, I highly recommend this figure, and I think it will make an excellent addition to your Transformers collection. Even if you're not that much of a fan of the Michael Bay movies, this figure, this interpretation of Galvatron, is still a piece of Transformers history, and I think it would be great in any would-be collector's collection, even as like a shelf warmer or a desk bot. I always love having a Transformer just to sit and fidget with on the desk. I just think it's a world of fun. With all that being said, this is Autobot ASMR, signing off for the night. Autobots, transform and roll out to bed.